the Seattle defense has been phenomenal this entire season. I don't think that this is just an immediate jump to, oh my God, this is a serious problem the way that they play, because there's so much evidence of them playing at a very, very high level. But I do wonder if the timing sets up Josh McDaniels and Drake May to look at the film and go, okay, this is how we maximize. This is how we can get after this opposing defense. They gave up 479 yards to the Rams. And to add to the concern, they gave up 226 deep passing yards to Matthew Stafford. That is the third highest mark by a defense in any game in the last decade. They're the only team to allow at least 200 yards on deep passes in a playoff game and win since at least 2016. So those are all numbers that should be causes for concern. So which side do you read on?
I am concerned for the Seahawks defense. Watching what Los Angeles did to them, they gave up so many massive chunk plays just on the underneath routes. Hey, we're 10 and in, and we got it. We're burning the linebackers. The linebackers from Seattle, tough in coverage, real rough. Ernest Jones, you were rough. Nwosu, rough. Drake Thomas, rough. Every time I saw a linebacker having to cover somebody from Los Angeles, they were getting burned. They were getting torched, and it kept Los Angeles in the game. Additionally, Seattle's great defensive backfield didn't have the best day ever. Nick Emenwari, he's a stud. He is a stud. He had a great day. Witherspoon didn't have a perfect day. Kobe Bryant didn't have a perfect day. We all know that freaking Woolen didn't have a very good day either. So cornerbacks have to step it up big time. Emenwari, let him just be him. Let him go and play as much Emenwari ball as he wants. Linebackers have to be better. I actually thought the D-line was pretty good. I actually thought they were kind of getting it on Stafford well, and Stafford was just a guy that could take a hit and deliver a big shot. What I also saw, Seattle was susceptible to getting caught sleeping, where when Los Angeles wanted to turn it on, and we saw those back-to-back deep throws from the Rams, they came effortlessly. And they said, oh, we could take you over the top whenever because we have you dialed. The one thing that New England can do that feels pretty automatic in decent conditions, throw the deep ball. Drake May was getting slobbered all year for his deep ball accuracy, justifiably. So you're going to have to run a lot of two deep. It's going to have to be a pretty conservative pass defense game from them. And that means what Philly did, you have to get pressure from the front four. Are they good enough to get pressure front four all the time? No, they're good enough to get it sometimes. So it's going to be way closer than expected.
I'm maybe 5% worried. I understand what you laid out there. I understand it, but it all comes back to the talking point I just brought up for the AFC Championship game. I think that circumstantially, the Patriots' offensive line is much weaker than the Rams' offensive line. They're able to protect and give Stafford more time than what the Patriots will be able to do for Drake May. I think the gigantic plays that they gave up, a lot of it did come in situations where it was crunch time moments where they needed to find a big play with limited time. There were multiple throws to Devontae Adams where it was just deep shot after deep shot, because if they didn't produce, they would have moved way too slowly and they would have not been able to get back into the game when they needed to. They were able to execute, which was ridiculous. But that execution not only comes from the fact that Matthew Stafford had time, but also because Matthew Stafford is just dialed like that. I know that Drake May was really good this year, but there's a difference between a guy who is in his late 30s and a guy who's 23 years old. There is a separation between those two things. He was able to find those big plays because he understands the urgency and he understands where he needs to go in situations like that. I don't have the context of Drake May doing it. And we've had some Drake May struggles over the past couple of games. It all comes down to how effectively can they protect Drake May. And at this current moment, I will continue to bring this up until the Super Bowl is played. I don't feel good about the matchup of that front four going up against this Patriots offensive line.
I gotcha. The Seattle also, the defense, they kind of have a little destiny working also because the DeMarcus Lawrence stuff where, I mean, honest to God, I believe in it. I believe that matters for some reason. You know, him saying I'm never going to win a Super Bowl in Dallas, crazy foresight, and then he's in the Super Bowl in his first year at Seattle. He didn't even have a great year. He had a good year, really solid, like what you needed from a vet that you're bringing over in Lawrence. You say something like that and it starts taking form. There's something that happens to a team if it's just really good energy for that Seattle team. And I'm still sticking at leaning Seattle in this one. I am, but I'm so hesitant to be all in. I'm so hesitant to be like, oh, this is a lock. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say it's a lock. The Patriots are going to keep it very, very feisty with Seattle.
Your tune is kind of changing a little bit since last night, because I felt like last night when we were talking about it, I was the one who's doing your bit where I said you were all in on the Seahawks, and then I came in and I said not so fast. And now that I've sat here and I thought about it, I am taking the opposite direction, and you seem to be reversing course as well.
I do seems to be doing that.
Shut up! Shut up!
Look, I'm not going to deny a team that has made it. I'm not. And also, everybody talking about the cupcake schedule and everybody talking about what they didn't have to play.
Schedule.
I know. They
played. Stroud was the best quarterback that they played that didn't have any limitations in front of him. Herbert had a bad offensive line, and they faced Jared Stidham in the snow.
Yeah, but they played 2 gnarly weather games, man. And then now you get to uncork in. I keep on thinking that this is in some warm city. It's in San Francisco. This could be an awful dreck game where it's like 40 degrees, but that's like 80 for the Patriots. I know it's like 80 for the Seahawks also, so there's not like a huge weather advantage. I think they make it look less like their Denver game, New England does, and they make it look more like the Seattle-Los Angeles game. Like, that's where I'm coming from on it. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Seattle's still going to win. I think it's going to look a lot like the Rams game, actually.
Yeah, I hope so.
May makes a lot of plays. I think it's good for everybody if it looks like that game. That was a spectacular game. May make some plays. We're not looking at a missed field goal fest. We're not looking at element overload. All of you, by the way, that have been embarrassing yourselves since Sunday at 3 p.m. about the elements and crying about how this isn't how the shit game should be.
The amount of takes that we had,
so embarrassing.
The amount of takes that came from this, there was somebody, I forget who, I think it was Pete Prisco, came out and said that
awful on
we need to play indoors. The snow ruined the game. Screw that. And then we had this one guy, Matt, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but regardless, he tweeted Matt Brunig.
Oh, yeah.
Brunig.
Yeah.
Brunig. The NFL really needs to do something to solve the crowd noise problem.
Terrible.
Aside from hearing loss issues, nobody wants to watch a game where the players can't communicate strategy to one another. That is an unreal take, and obviously not somebody who likes football, but that was – everyone came together on Monday morning to say that was the worst take of the weekend. Oh, God forbid the stadium's loud and everybody's really into it. God, that really sucks. NFL, your games are terrible. How could you allow for something like this to happen? I bet he loved COVID.
Yeah. I actually, for the day job, I actually prepped out the 2 worst opinions of the weekend and included both of those in it. Like, hey, let's just talk about this because we have to. The dorks that are just like, I'm weak and I'm inside and I'm cuddly and warm, so everyone has to be. You're wrong. There's parts of this country that want to be tough. There's parts of this country that want to be loud. And just because you like to read and drink your tea and have your matcha, and I love tea personally. It's good. It's a good drink. And I'm starting to like reading again. It's good. It's fun. That doesn't mean you don't get loud when you go to a football game. Or it doesn't mean that you don't want to stand in solidarity with the players that are out there flying around, putting it all on the line in 30-degree weather, in the snow. It's something that brings a fan more connected to the game, and you fall in love with it. You really do. These people, and I haven't gone to a game. I don't think watching a game in person is anywhere close to the enjoyability of watching on a TV. But I know what it feels like to go watch a game in person, and I know how addicting it is because you feel like you're on the team because you're in the elements. Yeah. You sit down in a dome, and you're just sitting there like, oh, I got my personal Pizza Hut pan pizza, and I got a 64-ounce Coke, and I can sit there and have my G sit on my thighs and push my B's together and just watch the guys play. And I'm in quarter-high black ankle socks, and nobody's going to judge me because I'm in a dome and I'm watching the team play. That's not how it works.
One of the worst game day experiences that I had was going to a Rams-Falcons game in LA.
Oh, my God.
And that had to have been. It's an insanely nice stadium. The concessions are unreal. It feels like you're going to like a really high-end Dave & Buster's to go watch a football game. And it's like, oh, cool, there's a field over there. The game's actually happening over there. But it also doesn't have the same fervor. Now, I understand part of that does come into the fact that there aren't a lot of Rams fans that are in LA. It was mostly Atlanta fans that were there or empty seats. But it all funnels into that you want to have real environments. It would have been a lot cooler if the sun was beating down on us in Los Angeles in September. That would have been a lot cooler. But every stadium has to have a dome. Every single stadium has to have a lid on it, like it is a thing of Tupperware. And we're trying to keep our. It's like
so
that.
Foolish, man.
I don't know why I thought of this. You know that one. You know that one the meme of that guy sitting in the back seat with the gumbo pot. It's got no lid on it.
Gumbo, no lid.
Gumbo, no lid. It's making me thinking that we. It's obviously a lot safer to have the lid on it, but it makes the experience a lot more exciting to sit in the back of a moving car with a pot of gumbo with no lid.
That was one of my favorite trends. We're just these high school kids. They're obviously just like, hey, I'm going to go get some food with my friends. And then they get 8 drinks and 8 Sprites. It's the whole intention is to spill it all over the inside of the car on a speed bump. I love that. That's some shit me and my friends would have done just because. Oh, it's so good.